This film begins by telling a drama writer named Han Bi-soo who lives in an old house in Seoul. He is a famous writer with many awards, and he always tries to choose the best actors for his dramas. But Bi-soo is upset because he can't find the right actor. Even Oh Joo-in, a popular actress, refused to be in his drama. Turns out, he is secretly interested in Joo-in. One day, while going home, Bi-soo watches a drama starring Joo-in without noticing he is standing in the middle of the road. Suddenly, a truck hits him. Before he passes out, he sees a man in white walking towards him. After being in a coma for 3 days, Bi-soo wakes up without any injuries. His mother, Kang Hae-jin, is very happy because Bi-soo is fine and remembers everything. Worried about his health, Hae-jin decides to sell his house so he can live with her. Surprisingly, the person who buys the house is Joo-in, who has just moved to the area. Meanwhile, Bi-soo just got healthy but lost the actor for his drama because of a busy schedule. The company's director, Yoo Dae-young, decided to hire Joo-in as the main actor instead. Bi-soo was confused because now he had to ask Joo-in for help, even though they didn't get along. The next morning, Bi-soo didn't know his house was sold and went about his morning routine. At the same time, Joo-in moved into the house and was surprised to find Bi-soo there. They met in the bathroom and Bi-soo didn't believe Joo-in had bought his house until she showed him the sale documents. Without a place to live, Bi-soo didn't want to stay with his mom and chose to live with his mom's friend, Kim Chong-kyu, who owns a music shop. At that time, Chong-kyu let Bi-soo stay as long as he helped in the shop. Hearing that, Bi-soo agreed and started working there. One day, Bi-soo couldn't come up with story ideas. His assistant, Jung Jae-hwan, suggested they go to Bi-soo's old house for inspiration. Joo-in was surprised when they showed up at her house, saying they needed inspiration. Since Joo-in was busy with her shooting schedule, she left her assistant, Bae Gwang-ja, to make sure Bi-soo would leave her house. Meanwhile, Bi-soo was in his room and suddenly got inspired to write his script. Gwang-ja didn't want him to stay at Joo-in's house. When Joo-in came home and found out, she confronted Bi-soo, Jae-hwan, and Gwang-ja. With some good reasons, Bi-soo and Jae-hwan convinced Joo-in to let Bi-soo write for a while at her house. The next day, Jae-hwan woke Bi-soo up with exciting news that Joo-in had officially become the main star in Bi-soo's new drama. There, Bi-soo quickly asked Joo-in if it was true. She confirmed it and told him to finish the script quickly so she could study it. Since Bi-soo could only get writing inspiration at his old house, he asked Joo-in if he could live there. After thinking about it, Joo-in agreed but set some rules that he had to follow. They made a written agreement about the rules Bi-soo had to obey while living in Joo-in's house. When Bi-soo moved into Joo-in's house, they didn't get along well and even argued over the bathroom. One day, while he was taking a shower, he realized his change of clothes was wet. He called Joo-in for help, but she didn't hear him because she was listening to music with her headphones. Because of this, Joo-in was shocked to see Bi-soo coming out of the bathroom wearing only a towel. Another time, Joo-in went to visit her mom, Yoon Jung-hwa, who was in a nursing home. They chatted and sang songs written by Joo-in's late father, Oh Hyun-chul, who was a singer and novelist. Joo-in also told her mom that she was starting to like a man she often argued with. That evening, Joo-in asked Bi-soo to leave her house for the next 3 days because her mom was coming over, and she didn't want her mom to know she lived with a man. Bi-soo agreed and helped her redecorate the house. After finishing the work, they said goodnight and went to their rooms. The next morning, Bi-soo left Joo-in's house, and they felt sad about being apart. After Bi-soo left, Joo-in took her mom home. Surprisingly, the traditional house was where Jung-hwa had lived 14 years ago with her family. Sadly, one day, Jung-hwa received news from the hospital that Hyun-chul had died, which changed her life. In the present, Jung-hwa has Alzheimer's disease, which can come back at any time. Despite this, Joo-in still takes care of her mom with love. At the same time, Bi-soo was having a hard time finishing his drama script. After thinking for 6 hours, he hadn't written a single word. So, he decided to go back to Joo-in's house to get inspiration and finish his script. The next morning, Bi-soo, who had finally finished his writing, was seen printing his drama script. At that time, Joo-in was surprised to see him back at the house. Without them realizing, Jung-hwa woke up and saw them. They both panicked, but luckily, Jung-hwa's Alzheimer's was acting up, and she thought Bi-soo was her husband. Soon after, Jung-hwa went to the kitchen to make breakfast. While waiting for Jung-hwa, who was busy cooking, Juin asked Bisu to pretend to be her father for a while. Bisu agreed. So the three of them spent time together walking in the park and singing. Not long after, Juin got a call from her manager saying that KT Cosmetics wanted to renew their contract with her. She needed to go sign the contract immediately. At first, Juin didn't want to leave Zhenghua, but Bisu promised to take care of her, so Juin decided to go to there. When Juin arrived at the cosmetics office, she met her old friend named Zheng Eugene, who is now the new CEO of KT Cosmetics. They were happy to see each other after a long time, and Eugene seemed to secretly like Juin. That evening, when Juin came home, she was touched to see Bisu making her mom, Zhenghua, laugh again. Zhenghua had been sad for a long time since her husband died. 3 days later, Juin took her mom back to the nursing home. When she got home, she was shocked to find a letter with a death threat from a mysterious person. To calm down, Juin met Eugene that night and told him about the scary letter. At that time, Eugene tried to cheer her up by taking her around town to forget about the threat. Back in high school, Juin and Eugene were friends. Eugene has liked Juin since then, but he never told her because he didn't want to ruin their friendship. That night, Bisu couldn't sleep because he was worried about Juin not coming home. He waited for her outside and saw her being dropped off by Eugene. Quickly, Bisu went inside and asked Juin if Eugene was her boyfriend. There, Juin casually said Eugene is just a friend. The next day, Juin and Bisu went to the Asian Drama Awards, a big event for the film industry. Before the event started, Bisu was still worried about the threatening letter and checked on Juin backstage to make sure she was okay. After seeing she was safe, he left her room and bumped into Eugene in the hallway, which made him annoyed. Meanwhile, Eugene visited Juin and complimented her dress. Curious, he asked who designed it, but Juin said she didn't know the designer's name. The designer, Choi In-young, was disappointed to hear that Juin didn't recognize her. Just before the award show started, In-young secretly put sleeping pills in Juin's drink, making her fall asleep. When Juin woke up, she found herself tied to a chair. There, In-young appeared and said she would ruin Juin's career. In-young then locked Juin in a room and burned her dress and all her photos with Juin because she was angry that Juin didn't recognize her. In-young, who was once a fan, now wanted to end Juin's career. Meanwhile, everyone at the show, including Eugene and Bisu, panicked when they heard Juin was missing. After hearing that, Bisu rushed to Juin's room, broke open a locked door, and found she was tied up. There, he calmed her down by hugging her. At that moment, Eugene arrived and felt jealous seeing Juin and Bisu so close. At the nursing home, Hae-jin visited her best friend Zhenghua. They talked and remembered happy times from their youth. After a hard day, Juin decided to visit her mom at the nursing home. At home, Bisu waited anxiously for Juin to return. Meanwhile, Eugene couldn't stop thinking about how Bisu cared for Juin, suspecting they had a special relationship. The next day, Bisu and Eugene went to the nursing home to see Juin. Eugene tried to impress Zhenghua by giving her expensive gifts, which made Bisu want to put Eugene in his place and show him that money isn't everything. After leaving the nursing home, Juin thanked Bisu for saving her. They started to show interest in each other. She even admitted that she liked having Bisu in her house because it made her feel less lonely. Another day, Hae-jin visited Juin's house and discovered that Bisu and Juin were living together. At that time, Hae-jin thought they were in a relationship, but Juin explained that Bisu lived there because he could only write in his room. However, Hae-jin wasn't convinced and insisted they liked each other. Upon hearing that, Bisu and Juin didn't know what to say and stayed silent. After leaving Juin's house, Hae-jin picked up Zhenghua to meet their old college friend, Changkyu, at his music shop. Soon after, Zhenghua called Juin and asked her to come to the music shop to introduce her to her two friends. Then, Bisu decided to go with Juin to the music shop. When Bisu and Juin arrived at the music store, Changkyu and the others were surprised. Hae-jin and Zhenghua decided to set their children up together. The next day, Bisu dressed neatly in a suit, saying he was going to an important event. Juin was also getting ready to go somewhere. Unexpectedly, they both ended up at the same restaurant for a blind date arranged by Zhenghua and Hae-jin. At first, Bisu felt nervous because his blind date was Juin. But as they started talking, Bisu opened up and admitted that he often thought about Juin. To relax, they listened to music together. Then, he surprised her by confessing that he likes her. However, Juin couldn't accept his love right away and asked for time to think about her feelings. Meanwhile, Eugene learned from his assistant, Park Geun-ho, that Bi-soo and Juin were living together. Geun-ho also gave Eugene a photo of a reporter planning to publish a story about Juin's scandal. After the blind date, Bi-soo and Juin felt awkward. When they got home, Eugene came over and said he knew their secret. He also told them about a reporter planning to release an article about their scandal of living together. This could ruin both their careers. Eugene suggested that Juin pretend to date him, so people wouldn't focus on the article about her and Bi-soo. Without thinking much, Juin agreed to Eugene's idea. At that time, Bi-soo heard this and stayed silent, feeling upset. Soon, articles about Juin and Eugene's fake relationship started spreading and became a hot topic on Korean social media. Bi-soo felt sad because he didn't like Juin's idea. Even though they were pretending, Juin and Eugene were spending a lot of time together, and Bi-soo worried she might actually fall for Eugene. One day, Bi-soo met Jung Sang-eun, Hae-jin's doctor, who told him that Hae-jin had terminal pancreatic cancer. Hearing this, Bi-soo felt very sad and regretful because he had wasted precious time with his mom. And Bi-soo, overwhelmed by the bad news, stayed in his room to calm down. At the same time, Juin saw him and misunderstood, thinking he was sad because she was pretending to date Eugene. The next day, Bi-soo decided not to waste any more time with his mom. He took her shopping and even gave her an expensive ring, which made her very happy. Meanwhile, Juin, who was in a fake relationship with Eugene, started to enjoy the romance and warmth Eugene showed her. But at home, she also felt happy with Bi-soo, who always made her life more interesting. This made her confused about whom she truly loved. On Hae-jin's birthday, Bi-soo didn't want to miss spending time with his mom, so he threw a simple birthday party with her good friends. That night, Bi-soo was grateful to see his mom laughing and happy. The next day, Juin and Bi-soo were shocked when Jung-hwa suddenly left the house alone. After searching, they found her at a crossroads. Unfortunately, Jung-hwa's Alzheimer's disease made her think Bi-soo was her husband and not recognize Juin as her daughter. Juin felt sad, realizing that one day her mom might completely forget her. Seeing Juin sad at home, Bi-soo tried to comfort her. In the moment, Juin got emotional and kissed him on the cheek. One day, Bi-soo visited his mom, Hae-jin, at home. There, Hae-jin told him she wanted to move to a nursing home to be with her best friend, Jung-hwa. At first, Bi-soo didn't agree, but after talking with Sang-eun, he decided to let Hae-jin be happy in her final days. Because of this, Bi-soo came home feeling sad. Juin noticed and thought it was because of her fake relationship with Eugene. Later, Bi-soo told Juin about Hae-jin's pancreatic cancer. Juin felt shocked and guilty for adding to Bi-soo's stress. To cheer him up, she invited him to be a guest on her radio show. Bi-soo agreed and helped her come up with impressive closing words for the show. On the recording day, Eugene came to support Juin. During the broadcast, they received a call from someone asking for advice on a love problem similar to their own. Bi-soo used this chance to express his feelings to Juin indirectly. After the caller's segment ended, Juin closed the radio show with the words she had practiced with Bi-soo the night before. Eugene, feeling annoyed by what Bi-soo said during the broadcast, decided to stay at Juin's house. Without thinking, Juin agreed. When they got home, Bi-soo and Eugene competed for Juin's attention. As the night went on, Eugene fell asleep on the sofa, and Juin covered him with a blanket. Jealous, Bi-soo knocked Eugene off the sofa and told him to move to a room. After Eugene left, Bi-soo lay on the sofa, hoping Juin would come cover him too. She did, and almost kissed Bi-soo, which Eugene saw, making him question her feelings. Soon after, Bi-soo and Eugene asked Juin who she would choose. There, Juin admitted she loved both of them and wanted them to get along. However, Bi-soo and Eugene insisted she choose one of them. Juin said she couldn't decide, so they agreed to take turns dating her on different days, hoping she would eventually choose. When it was Eugene's turn to date Juin, he took her on a trip down memory lane. He asked Juin to wear her high school uniform and took her to places they used to visit. This date made her remember their happy times together in the past. The next day, Bi-soo invited Juin to camp in front of the house. Although it was awkward at first, he managed to make her feel comfortable. He even gave her a decorative star, which made her happy. Then, Bisoo told Juin that he didn't care whether she chose him or Eugene cause he just wanted her to be happy. The next morning, as Juin was getting ready to leave, she put the star Bisoo gave her on her dressing mirror, smiling as if she had chosen Bisoo. However, Bisoo's day took a turn for the worse when he met his father, Han Min-jun, who revealed that Bisoo was not his biological son. Shocked, he went to Hae-jin for answers. There, Hae-jin confirmed that Min-jun was his stepfather and that his biological father had died when Bisoo was only 7 months old. With that sad news, Bisoo went home feeling devastated. He even destroyed some of his belongings and yelled at Juin when she tried to find out what was wrong. Later, still angry about how Min-jun treated him, Bisoo decided to expose Min-jun's affair. He met with Hae-jin and told her that when he was 18, he caught Min-jun with another woman in their home. Hearing this, Hae-jin was furious and went to Min-jun's office at the hospital. Instead of calming her down, Min-jun admitted he only married Hae-jin to get a position at her old hospital. At home, Bisoo got a call from Min-jun, who was angry about being exposed. He threatened to take revenge on Bisoo and Hae-jin. Stressed by all the problems, Bisoo suddenly couldn't speak during the call. Feeling guilty, Juin decided to tell her manager, Kim Ina, the truth about her fake relationship with Eugene. She also admitted to having feelings for Bisoo. After confirming their romantic relationship, Juin went home and told Bisoo that she no longer cared about her career because she saw her future with him. From that day on, they officially started dating and were happy doing various activities together. One day, Juin suddenly couldn't see Bisoo, who was standing right in front of her. He was shocked until the mysterious man who had appeared during his accident came back and told him that he would die in 49 days. The man in white asked Bisoo to spend his remaining time making sweet memories with his loved ones. At first, Bisoo didn't believe the mysterious man. But that evening, when he went to meet Juin for a date at a restaurant, he realized he had become invisible. He couldn't see his reflection in the mirror, which made him sad. To check, Bisoo held Juin's hand, but this scared her because she thought a ghost was bothering her. Soon after, Juin quickly left the room, unaware that Bisoo was there. Bisoo then believed the man in white and accepted that he would die in 49 days. To calm down, Bisoo went to Chongkyu's music shop, where he saw Juin. Feeling confused and stressed, Bisoo ended up scolding Juin, causing tension in their relationship. Upset, she vented her anger by practicing boxing without gloves, injuring her hand. When Eugene saw the injury, he realized something was wrong between Juin and Bisoo. Not wanting to see Juin suffer, Eugene visited Bisoo at home and asked him to take good care of Juin. Later, Bisoo visited Hae-jin at the nursing home and was shocked to find her receiving intensive treatment for her cancer. There, Hae-jin told Bisoo not to worry about her death, saying everyone who lives will eventually die. She wanted to create happy memories at the end of her life so her loved ones wouldn't suffer from her passing. Hearing this, Bisoo realized he had little time left and decided to spend it meaningfully with Juin. When Bisoo returned from the nursing home, he hugged Juin and promised he wouldn't leave her until death took him. With their relationship improving, she asked him to sleep in her room that night. Bisoo was happy, but then disappointed when he realized they were only swapping rooms and not actually sleeping together. In the morning, Juin woke up to find Bisoo waiting to give her a necklace. She was happy with the gift and decided to spend the day with him visiting new places. At one spot, they wrote letters to each other that they would read in a year. Secretly, Bisoo wrote his last message to Juin before he expected to die. After they returned home, he focused on creating happy memories with Juin. The next day, Ina met Juin at the agency office and told her that Bisoo had spoken to her about moving out of Juin's house. He asked Ina to stay close to Juin. Soon after, Juin rushed home, frustrated with Bisoo for wanting to move out suddenly. Bisoo, knowing she was upset, tried to calm her down by apologizing. At that time, Juin forgave him but pretended to stay angry to see how he would try to win her back. That evening, Eugene came over to make Bisoo jealous. However, his plan failed because Bisoo and Juin still wanted to be together. While they were talking, Eugene told Bisoo that he was still trying to win Juin's heart. One day, Bisoo felt annoyed when he saw Juin dressed in a revealing outfit, but he stayed quiet, realizing he had no right to control her life. In the afternoon, Bisu was shocked to see a photo of Juin holding hands with Eugene. Seeing this made him very angry. On the other hand, Juin felt guilty for acting romantically with Eugene in front of the media. To make things right, she told Eugene that their relationship was just friends. This made him feel sad, but he hid it. When Juin got home, Bisu tried to avoid her because he was still upset about the photo. Juin tried to talk to him, but got annoyed by his childish attitude and decided to leave. Realizing his mistake, Bisu ran after Juin and asked her not to be mad at him. Soon after, Bisu got news that his mom was in critical condition and needed intensive care at the hospital. He rushed to visit her, finding her unconscious. Bisu stayed by her side, and the next day, Heijin woke up, making him feel relieved. There, Bisu asked her to undergo chemotherapy to slow down the cancer. Heijin initially refused, but seeing her son's sadness, she agreed to the treatment. When Bisu was leaving the hospital, he saw a woman crying hysterically after losing her husband. This made him imagine how sad Juin would be if he left her. To prevent Juin from being heartbroken over his death, Bisu decided to break up with her. Juin was shocked and asked why he suddenly wanted to end their relationship. Bisu, feeling sad, had to do something against his heart. The next morning, Juin couldn't accept Bisu's decision and thought he was joking. But she was hurt when she realized he truly wanted to separate. Later, Juin was happy to get a call from Bisu, asking her to meet because he wanted to discuss their relationship. Thinking they would reconcile, Juin excitedly went to the meeting place. When Juin arrived, she was surprised to see Eugene with Bisu. Bisu then told her he was letting her go for Eugene. He even lied, saying he didn't love her and was only using her so he could write in his old room. After the meeting, Juin tried to get Bisu back by making ramen, their favorite dish. But Bisu just left her, and Juin felt sad about their breakup. Another day, Juin visited Heijin in the hospital. While chatting, Heijin gave her a ring, hoping Juin would wear it at her wedding with Bisu. After leaving Heijin's room, Juin found Bisu sitting alone in the hallway. Soon, a woman named Oh Heejung came to see him. Curious about Heejung, Juin planned to ask Bisu about her at dinner. Unexpectedly, Bisu brought Heejung to the restaurant. Heejung turned out to be a fan of Juin, ruining his plan to introduce her as his fake girlfriend. After dinner, Juin expressed her frustration with Bisu for ending their relationship. Her words made Bisu feel even worse because he was acting against his own feelings. Still, Bisu stayed firm in his decision, not wanting Juin to suffer too much after his death. Because of Bisu's decision, a heartbroken Juin decided to stay at Eugene's house for a few days to calm down. Eugene treated her warmly, which Juin appreciated, but she still loved Bisu, making it hard to accept Eugene's affection. Still, Juin tried to move on and slowly accept Eugene. One day, Juin agreed to Heijine's invitation for a simple event with close friends and family, as Heijin knew her time was limited. Juin pretended that she and Bisu were still together to keep the mood happy. After the event, Juin met with Bisu and gave him the ring Heijin had given her. She apologized for any trouble she had caused and promised to accept his decision to end their relationship. However, Juin's words didn't match her true feelings, and she cried quietly after meeting Bisu. The next morning, Juin returned the necklace Bisu had given her, which hurt him, but he tried to hide his disappointment from Juin. That day, Juin went back to Eugene's house to calm down, but she was surprised when Eugene suddenly proposed to her. Juin couldn't accept because she still loved Bisu and hoped he would come back to her. Meanwhile, Bisu was visiting his mother, who asked him to stay overnight at the hospital. It turned out to be her last night. Before passing away, Heijin wrote a final letter to Bisu. After her death, he looked at all the pictures of his mother on his desk, feeling sad. A few days later, Bisu decided to finish his final drama script. In it, he wrote everything he couldn't say directly to Juin, the woman he truly loved. During a script reading session, Juin realized what Bisu had written and decided to stay by his side, even though it hurt her. One night, Juin, not ready to give up on their relationship, followed Bisu to Changkyu's music shop. There, she witnessed Bisu disappearing right before her eyes. Realizing that Bisu is hiding something, Juin tries to find information about people who suddenly disappear. She finds an article online that says such people have actually died, but their death is postponed for a special reason. Worrying about this, Juin faints while filming and is rushed to the hospital. When Bisoo hears the news, he panics and rushes to the hospital. At Juin's bedside, Bisoo, thinking she is asleep, asks her to be with him as he leaves the world. Unexpectedly, Juin hears everything Bisoo says. She runs after him when he leaves the room. Bisoo, not wanting Juin to suffer from losing him, tries to avoid her. Juin insists she won't give up and will stay with Bisoo no matter what happens. From that day on, Juin tries to get closer to Bisoo, who still can't open up about his secret. One day, she accidentally finds Bisoo's diary. Reading it, she is shocked to learn that he will disappear after 49 days of meeting an angel. She tears out the page and keeps it in her room. Later, Bisoo plans to leave Juin's house. Before leaving, he accidentally enters her room and finds the torn piece of paper. That evening, Juin came home from work and immediately asked Bisoo what he was hiding. Bisoo finally admitted that he only had a week left to live. Overcome with sadness, they spent the night together, realizing how precious their time was. Bisoo decided to make the most of his remaining days with Juin, seeking the true meaning of love. A few days later, rumors spread that Juin was cheating on Eugene with Bisoo. Luckily, Eugene and Bisoo sent a food truck to Juin's filming location, claiming they were all friends. Eugene admitted that he had pretended to date Juin to cover up her relationship with Bisoo. That night, Eugene stayed at Juin's house as a friend to both Juin and Bisoo. Juin felt happy to see the two most important men in her life getting along. Then, Bisoo asked Eugene to take care of Juin after he died, hoping he would fill the void in her life. Eugene didn't understand Bisoo's words and still wanted Juin to be happy with Bisoo. Another time, Bisoo went to the river where Hae-jin's ashes had been scattered. There, the man in white appeared again and revealed that he was Bisoo's biological father, who had died before expressing his love for Hae-jin. Because of his own sad story, he had extended Bisoo's life after the accident, so he could experience true love with Juin. 2 days later, Bisoo finished his final drama script. Meanwhile, Juin, while acting in the drama, really cried when her character's lover died. She imagined how sad her life would be when he really disappeared. On Bisoo's last day, he gave Hae-jin's ring to Juin, asking her to take care of it. Just before midnight, they both felt very sad because once the clock struck 12, Bisoo would disappear. They said their goodbyes and finally, he vanished from Juin's arms. At that time, she cried over losing the man she loved. A year later, Bisoo's drama became very popular and was named the best drama of the year. At the end of the series, it showed Juin receiving a letter that Bisoo had written. In the letter, he expressed his sadness about not living long enough to be with Juin, the woman he loved. He advised her to marry Eugene because she deserved to be loved. However, Juin chose to remain loyal to Bisoo. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is love like there's no tomorrow, but remember, if your love story involves disappearing people and secret angels, maybe double-check your casting choices. In the end, just keep your ramen recipes and sense of humor handy.